Can I have everybody's attention, please? Yes. My name is Hervé Eniglo, and today I will be speaking on business analysis, the intersection of coding and business. So who am I? My full name is Hervé Viho Eniglo. My name, Hervé, is French for army warrior. Viho is Cheyenne for chief. And Eniglo, so I was born in Togo, but I grew up in America. Eniglo, my last name, is native. It's from Gembe. That's the name of my tribal language. And it means a person who cannot stand still and a person who is tired of waiting. So altogether, my name means Army Warrior Chief who cannot stand still. Yes. So I'm a software developer, I'm a teacher, I'm a mentor, and I'm also a business analyst. So currently, I'm a lead business systems analyst at ADP in Alpharetta, Georgia. And I consider myself to be a melomaniac. A melomaniac is somebody who loves music. I'm a musical coder. One of my unique skill sets is that I have the ability to code music in a variety of programming languages, such as Python, Ruby, and JavaScript. I'm a red mage, I'm a jack of all trades, I'm a technologist, and I love to, travel. I love to go on adventures. I'm a seeker of knowledge, but most importantly, I'm a member of the National Society of Black Engineers and the National Black MBA Association. Yes. I'm so glad to be here. This is my first time speaking for NSBE, and NSBE has done a lot for me. I love this organization. That's my LinkedIn profile, and that's my email address. So involvement with NSBE, I was exposed to NSBE as a freshman in college, and I became really involved during my junior year, and I became the membership chair. Then I became publications chair during my senior year. I increased the NSBE membership at the University of Memphis by 65%. Yes, and I spread the word about NSBE at multiple events throughout Memphis, and I, along with my teammates, we resurrected the NSBE chapter at the University of Memphis, and we got an award for it. That's Rosie P. Bingham, the Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion at the University of Memphis. And that was taken in spring 2016 at the Presidential Leadership Awards at the University of Memphis. Yes. So I went to the NSBE convention for the first time back in March 2016, and it took place in Boston, Massachusetts. However, in November 2015, at the NSBE Region 3 Fall Regional Conference, that took place in Memphis. And my friend and I, his name is Kareem Da Silva, we entered the first ever NSBE Region 3 Fall Regional Conference Hackathon. And long story short, we came in first place. That's us with the previous executive director of NSBE, Carl Reed. Yes. We created a iOS app for the NSBE mobile website. Yes. And I was very involved with the NSBE Memphis Professionals chapter, and I received an award for being the most active member of the year. Yeah. And afterwards, I joined the NSBE Region 3 Professionals Executive Board. I was on there for 3 years. I was the telecommunications chair for 2 years. Then last year, I was the secretary. So during my college years, I was a research assistant for cybersecurity, logistics, and virtual reality professors. I was also a STEM ambassador. So in other words, I went to different schools around the city of Memphis and promoted STEM. And I did a variety of demonstrations like engineering, coding, computer science, things like that. And I was very involved with NSBE. I participated in hackathons. I did a lot of internships, and I worked on interesting projects that really built up my skill sets and led me to where I am today. So one of my internships, I was an intern at FedEx Services. I was a software development intern. And once I graduated, that internship turned into a full-time job, and I was a full-time full-stack developer. And honestly, I was miserable. I didn't like my job, and I didn't like my teammates, and I didn't like my manager. Just being honest. I'm just being honest. There was no room for growth, and my manager wasn't very supportive. My teammates weren't very supportive, and most of them were senior engineers, and they didn't want to help a young junior software developer. So I decided to go back to school and get my MBA. So all these experiences, they made me realize my potential as a business analyst. So I participated in a lot of hackathons around the United States of America. And at one point, I received a $10,000 grant from Google to host a technology camp for children and teenagers who were from underserved and impoverished communities in Memphis, Tennessee. My friends and I, we taught them computer science. We taught them app development, video game development, web development, hardware programming, and cybersecurity applications over the course of 5 Saturdays.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that's me with a director of IT from FedEx Services, Mr. Reginald Shaw. He was born in Orange Mound, but he grew up in Binghamton, two of the most impoverished areas in Memphis, Tennessee. And I directly asked him if he can come over and speak to the kids about his career and how he came to be where he is today. And he gladly obliged. And the kids, they really loved hearing him speak. They were glad, and the parents were proud that they were able to see a black man who grew up in the same area as them, be successful. I also participated in multiple startups in Memphis, Tennessee. That's Edesia. Edesia is a food truck locator app. So you can look up nearby food trucks, and also food truck vendors can find the nearest group of people at a certain location where they can go and set up their business. It's available on the App Store in case you're interested. Yes. Okay. So I received my 6 Sigma Green Belt certification and multiple other certifications: Safe Agile certification, Professional Scrum Master certification.
Where did you receive your Green Belt certification? Through what organization?
I'll answer that at the end.
Okay.
So from Memphis to Atlanta, so I graduated with my MBA at the University of Memphis in December 2019. However, before that, in September 2019, I drove 10 hours from Memphis to Houston to attend the National Black MBA Association Conference/Career Fair. I realized at that time I didn't want to be a software developer in corporate America anymore. So I was really motivated, and I just took the chance. I was living up to my name. I'm an Army Warrior Chief who cannot stand still. So I rented out a car, drove all the way to Houston, Texas, a 10-hour drive, and I interviewed with some companies, and the first company that reached out to me was Capgemini, and I accepted a job offer as a business analyst consultant. So with that being said, I accepted it, and in January 2020, I moved from Memphis to Atlanta to start my new life. Okay, unfortunately, during April 2020, due to the impact of COVID-19, I was laid off. However, during that time, since we were on lockdown and we had a lot of free time, I decided to get some certifications, like the Microsoft Certified Azure Fundamental certifications, Microsoft Azure Data AI certification, Microsoft Power BI certification, Microsoft Power Platform certification, the Professional Scrum Master certification from Scrum.org. Yes. And eventually, times were tough. I had to do Instacart. Okay, so I was doing Instacart, and one day I came up to an Indian man, and I just started a conversation with him. And I told him my story, and I told him that I was laid off. And long story short, he was able to find me a job. I didn't have to go through an interview. I just sent him my resume electronically, and he told his friend, who was a vice president of business analytics at Manhattan Associates, and within a week, I got the job. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that was a backdoor application. I literally just came up to him and started a conversation, because of my personality, and I got the job. Okay, so while I was at Manhattan Associates, even though my title was business analyst, I was more so doing database management. And honestly, I didn't like it. I didn't like what I was doing, so I quit. Okay. So, diversity ticket scholarships. Diversity ticket scholarships are scholarships where, for technology conferences, if you are a minority, or if you're LGBTQIA, or if you have a disability, or if you're a woman, conferences will literally pay for all of your expenses. Free flight, free hotel, free registration to come to their conference. I've gotten 9 diversity ticket scholarships so far. One conference was called CubeCon, It's a conference dedicated to cloud native technologies, and it was in Los Angeles. So in October 2019, so I applied, and I was selected to receive the scholarship, and it was an all expense paid trip, up to $2,500, free flight, free hotel, free car registration, all that good stuff. And I networked and I met other people while I was there. Now, Amazon Web Services, they have an event called AWS reInvent, where they display all of their latest technologies that's related to Amazon. One technology that they displayed was a toy. It's like a race car toy where you can use machine learning where it can program itself to race around the track. There's also another one called AWS Decomposer, where it's a MIDI keyboard you can hook up to your computer and you can make it play music. Again, one of my specialties is musical programming, and with AWS Decomposer, you can input a few notes. The technology will train itself to remember your notes, and it will complete the song for you. Yes. Okay. So that took place in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay. While I was there, I met a representative from ADP, and we had a good conversation. He was a chief software architect, and I told him that I was looking for a job, and I showed him who I was. I showed him my personality. So, and he liked me so much that he sent me a link to apply to a job. I applied, I got called back for interview, and lo and behold, I got the job. So currently I'm at ADP now, and I love it. Just like Beyonce, you won't break my soul. So, life as a lead business systems analyst. So I set up meetings with clients and customers, both internally and externally. So within ADP and outside of ADP, ADP has multiple customers, and they work with multiple companies all around the world. Is anybody familiar with ADP? Okay, that's how I get it. That's how you get your paychecks, right? Yeah. Usually when I tell people I work at ADP, for some reason they think I work at ADT, a home security company. But once I repeat myself, they're like, "Oh wait, you guys manage the paychecks? Yeah. Oh okay. Thank you for that." Like people literally thank me. I mean, I don't handle your paychecks. Okay. So I write documentation of the things that I have gathered from the clients and customers. Okay, then I take that information and go back to my fellow software developers, product owners, and product managers to relay the information. Okay, I'm a pinpoint of communication between two different organizations, and, teams, and departments. So I know I mentioned that we have multiple clients and customers, but most importantly, within my team, I mostly work with the software development team and the business information team. So if the business people need something from the software developer people, and they need to communicate that desire to them, I'll be the pinpoint. I'll be the linguist, the translator, the liaison, wherever you want to call it. So if they need anything, they just ask me, and I'll just tell the other team, the other respective party, what do they need and how they can get it. Okay, so I'll provide a dashboard of the gathered information, and it varies. I can either use Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, or Spotfire. And then I'll present and express findings of the results from the dashboard. So what exactly is business analytics? So business analytics is technologies used for solving business problems involving data analysts, statistical models, and other quantitative methods. It involves an iterative methodical exploration of an organization's data with an emphasis on statistical analysis to drive decision making and other strategies at businesses. So data-driven companies treat their data as a business asset, and they actively look for ways to turn it into a competitive advantage. So data drives everything. When you think about it, we're all living data. Okay, so companies, they need somebody that they can trust to manage their data. And with the data that they have found, that they find, and they have put together, you're able to make predictions off of that data. That's known as storytelling. Okay, so I mentioned business analytics. This is business analysis. So business analysis is understanding the inner workings of an organization, such as the operations, structures, and policies, coming up with strategic solutions that help the organization with its goals, and also being a liaison of multiple departments and entities such as business stakeholders and IT professionals. So when you think about it, anybody can be a business analyst. It doesn't matter about your degree, your background, if you're an engineering major, IT major, whatever. Anybody can be a business analyst. And all you're doing is just communicating what you find, communicating to other individuals, and just presenting what you find. You know, all of us, we've been doing that ever since we were children. So that shouldn't be hard. Okay, common business analysis techniques. So most, PESTLE, SWOT, Moscow, and Catwalk. So most is mission, objectives, strategies, and tactics. So most, you think about your end goal, your mission, what you're trying to do. What is your objective? What are you trying to accomplish? And the strategies and the tactics. So the strategy is you're going to, like, let's say you're going to the store. Do you want to take your own car, or do you want to take an Uber or a Lyft? So what would be the strategy? You have to think about, you know, potential traffic hazards. If it's going to rain, you know, the weather, how many people are going to be at the store, things like that. And you have to strategize how you're going to accomplish your goal. And you have to think about the tactics behind it. How would you handle certain situations? So most business analysts, they will use the most analysis techniques at their job. PESTLE is political, economic, sociological, technological, legal, environmental. So you will use this in government-based settings. So, you know, politics, economics, the social status, and how will technology play into that? For those of you who want to get into the government-based jobs, or work in cybersecurity, you know, most likely you will encounter PESTLE. Okay. Even in the law firm world, in the legal world, I know a few people who are business analysts at law firms. They use PESTLE because business analysis, you really have to think about how you're going to reach your goal, how you are going to talk to certain individuals, how you're going to get your point across. So SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You have to figure out, you know, think of it like a video game, a big boss fight in a video game. You have to think about the strength of the boss, how strong it is. You have to think about the weakness. You have to think about opportunities. You have to think about the threats. You know, what can I do to hurt this person? Okay, what is this person's weakness? What's the chink in the armor? And how will this be beneficial to me? That's applicable in the business world. So whenever you're working on a big project, you have to sit down and think, how would this affect my team and I, the business and I? You know, how strong is this project? How weak would this make us? And what would be a disadvantage of doing this? And you have to think about the threats, you have to think about the risks. One job title or one job is called a risk analysis, and you're just analyzing risks of different factors that could affect your business. Okay, so if you're a risk analysis or anything similar to it, you can use SWOT. Most likely you're going to use SWOT. And you can use that in your everyday life. And you know, when you think about it, you've been using it ever since, you know, you can walk and talk. You think about what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. You know, if you anger your parents, you have to face the consequences. If you get a speeding ticket and you get caught by the police, you have to face the consequences. And having that mentality, it can help you think about certain business initiatives and strategies. Because you're just thinking about how would this affect you in the long run. Moscow is must or should, could or would. Now, for those of you who are overthinkers, you know, this will be perfect for you. Because, you know, you're thinking about it like, should I do this? Must I do this? Should I do this? Could I do this? Would I do this? Yeah, things like that. So it's just overthinking, and you have to think about all the possible outcomes and all the possible initiatives that would happen if you follow this method. So yes. So Moscow isn't just a place in Russia, it's a way of thinking. Yes, and there's cat role. So customers, actors, transformation process, worldview, owner, and environmental constraints. So think of this as like a video game, a cartoon, or a TV show, or a movie. Think of this as like a setting from a storybook. I'm an actor and this is my stage. You all are my audience. So I'm not a mind reader, but I can tell that you all are, judging me, either good or bad. That's part of being human. You all are listening to me, processing my information, and you're taking it all in. So I'm an actor, you all are my customers. This is my transformation process. I am showing you my worldview. I own this presentation, and there are environmental constraints. This can be considered an environmental constraint. This is not a big enough screen. Yes. Okay. It's not, and this is not a big enough room. Okay. Okay. Yeah. But you all can surely hear me, right? I have a loud and powerful voice. Yeah. Again, I'm an army warrior chief who cannot stand still. Okay, yes. But catwalk, anybody can use it. You can use it in the movie industry, video game industry, retail industry, fast food industry. We're all actors in what we do, or we can be video game players. Life is like a video game, life is like a stage. The world is your stage, and it's up to you to make the best decisions that could impact your life for the better or for worse. Okay. Yes. So all these business analyst techniques, they're not just used in the technology world, they're used in the engineering world, and you can use them for your life. It all depends on your perspective.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, for the Moscow, what's a specific situation you would apply that to? Is that for quick decision making or?
Is that for decision making?
Yeah, like very quick decision making, like a yes or no.
It can be used for quick decision making, or it can be used for long projects. So you don't have to answer it, quickly. You can take your time with it, up to 2 weeks, up to a week, because you're overthinking. You have to think about all the possible outcomes, all the possible objectives. Yes. Yes. So business intelligence. So this is where the intersection of business analytics and coding and technology, that's where it comes in. So business intelligence, you utilize software and services to transform data into actionable insights that inform an organization's strategic business decisions. It involves the analysis of data sets and result of analytical findings and reports, summaries, dashboards, graphs, charts, and maps to provide users with detailed intelligence about the state of the business. Okay. So I guess you could say it's the intelligence of the business and how you can use that to drive forward strategic outcomes. You can do this with coding. You can do this with technology. You can you can utilize anything with it. You can even use a piece of paper. Yes, pen and paper. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. So business intelligence, you can use that to drive the data, tell stories, tell the possible outcomes, tell discoveries or any other findings you have found in your research, and you can use that to show research in a safe and understandable way. So how business intelligence works. So you collect and transform the data from multiple sources, and you uncover trends and inconsistencies, and you use data visualization to present findings, and you take action on insights in real time. Business intelligence, you have seen that in real life. You have seen that in everywhere. Okay. So, for example, why is Beyonce Break My Soul, why is that so popular? Because we love it. People did research on that, and people listen to that on the radio, on YouTube, everywhere, and that's why it's played out. That's why it's always played. And there are other examples of clothing. Why are shorts so popular? Well, first of all, because it's hot, and people wear shorts during summertime. But for a specific brand of shorts, it's very comfortable, and people, boys and girls, are more willing to wear them. And that was discovered through business intelligence. People use technology to find the latest trends, the latest discoveries from TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anything. And you can also, even Facebook and Instagram use data analytics and business intelligence. Did you know that you can use the analytics in those apps to find out who's been following you, how many people like your posts, and the analytics of your post, how well it's been doing in the recent time that you posted your pictures? Did you all know that?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people know that. Yeah. So business intelligence is everywhere. And it's up to you how to use it. So what is coding? So coding, the simple explanation is you're inputting information and commands into a computer and you're telling it what to do. Okay, and believe it or not, you are smarter than a computer. A computer is not smarter than you. Remember that. Don't ever tell yourself anything differently. Okay. So yeah, we humans, we invented the computer. Yes. Okay. So computers are very useful in this day and age, and everything is run by a computer, by technology. So coding is very broad, it's very powerful. You can do so many things with it. You can create cartoons, you can create video games, you can create TV shows or have an impact on TV shows. You all know Doja Cat?
Yes.
Did you know that this year she released the first ever programmable music video, a coding music video? So what I mean by that is it's a music video, but you can change the inputs. You can change her color to green. You can change the weather. You can change the environment. All that by coding. Look it up if you don't believe me. Yes. So yeah. And she pulled all that off. Yes. Yes. Okay. So you can do so much with it. And I've done a lot of things with coding. I created apps. I created websites. And I created video games. So yeah, coding is fun. So how does coding and business intertwine? So there's a methodical approach. There are strategic steps. You have to arrive at a solution. If there's a problem, what is the solution? What's the logical mentality? How are you going to take this challenge head on? How do you interact with other individuals and other machines? How do you influence businesses? How do you incorporate other processes and ideas into technologies? So coding has really helped me out a lot on how I can see things and solve things in a logical and methodical manner. Because when you think about coding, all you're doing is just going through steps. And same thing with businesses. If you go through certain steps, you can achieve what you're trying to do with your business and achieve your goals. So that's one of the ways on how coding and business can intertwine. And most of the attendees here at the NSBE PDC, they're engineers, and every day in their life, they have to use their engineering skill set to get things done, to see things in a logical and linear manner. But sometimes when coding and business, when they intertwine, sometimes it can be very complex. There's a bunch of complexity involved with when solving certain problems. But if you think about it logically and remain calm, you're able to solve the complex problem. Okay, so these are some of the tools that are used in business analytics. Business analytics can also be used as data analytics. The top 3 tools are Python, R, and SQL. So the tools used in business analysis: Jira, Confluence, Trello, SharePoint, and Microsoft Office products. Okay, so Jira and Confluence, you can use that to keep track of what your team is doing, keep track of the progress, and you can also document what your team is doing during daily stand-ups. So daily stand-ups are 15-minute sessions where a leader will talk to the team and ask them how are they doing in their projects or current tasks. What have they accomplished yesterday? What do they plan on doing today? And are there any problems that they need to report or anything anybody can help them with? So so daily stand-ups are very prominent in the agile world. Okay, agile is a methodology used in business analytics, It is an iterative approach on how you can develop software and achieve other goals. Okay. Trello is a job board, is a task board app that you can use at your job or to manage your tasks for your day-to-day life. You know, it's free, you can use it, and it's very useful for showing how far you have worked on on the progress of your task, how you can be done with it, and when you can be done with it. And it can also notify other people on the board when you are done with your product. Okay, Microsoft Office products, we use that every day, but they have so many products that you can use for business analysis, like Excel, PowerPoint, you know, Microsoft Word, Access, OneNote, Publisher, Visio, the list goes on and on. Okay. And SharePoint, with that you can build a website, and it's very easy to use. And Confluence is also another web-based app that you can use to keep track of your team's progress and document everything that they are doing. So the tools used in business intelligence, there's Microsoft Power BI, there's Amazon QuickSight, and there is Tableau, Spotfire, IBM Cognos, Google Analytics, and Looker. So these are very popular, and most of them are free to use. You can go online and download them. So with Tableau and Spotfire, you can use that to create very colorful dashboards of the data and insights that you have gathered. Microsoft Power BI and Amazon QuickSight, they are very useful on showing data in a very linear and understandable way. So Microsoft Power BI is very valuable and it's very useful. And I strongly recommend, if you want to get into business intelligence, data analytics, data analysis, business analytics, or business analysis, or if you want to grow your skill sets, please look up these tools online and practice them. I promise you, you will not regret it. And you can also use this, you know, outside of work. You know, you can use this, you know, when you're at a party, when you're having fun with friends. Like, look what I can do with Amazon QuickSight. And look at the data that I have gathered from my clients. You know that based on this trend, in the future, humans are going to have, you know, bigger brains by the time that babies are born, and by the time we eat more oatmeal. Yes. You know, you can't make your friends with that. Yes. Oh wow. Okay, I would say Microsoft Power BI is my favorite of all of them. Yes. So Amazon QuickSight, that was revealed at AWS reInvent. That's one of the latest technologies that they revealed, and it's recent, but at the same time, it's very powerful and useful. Now, if you want a simpler business intelligence tool to use, I strongly recommend Looker or Google Analytics. And you can easily get a certification in Google Analytics for free. Yes. Okay. And also there are certifications like the Microsoft Data Associate certification. However, that certification has been retired. It got a new name. But if you use Microsoft Power BI, you study and you take the test, you can get certified in Microsoft Power BI. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. I know so many people who use Microsoft Power BI, and I even use Microsoft Power BI at work in order to show my manager and my stakeholders the findings that I have gathered and how it will help the company in the future. Yes.
Which ones are free?
Which ones are free? So almost all of them are free. Yes. Everyone except IBM Cognos. Yes. Yes.
Have you heard of Retool before?
Retool?
Yeah, have you heard of it?
Oh no.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know if that was like a tool as well, or if it was different. So.
Yeah. So yes. So business intelligence is really fun. You can manipulate the data in so many ways. You can make it very interactive. You know, you can make it colorful. You can make it pretty. You can make it ugly. Okay. You can make it attractive. You can do whatever you want with it. So Python libraries. So Python It's one of my favorite languages, and it's honestly my preferred language. I love coding in Python. Yes.
So you said Power BI is your favorite tool.
Yes.
Any specific reason for that?
I just like it. To me, depending on the perspective, but to me, it's very simple to use, and it has so many widgets. Or when I say widgets, they have so many functionalities that you can use in order to show your data to the world. Yes. And Python is my favorite because you can do so much with it. You can use it in cybersecurity. You can use it to create video games. You can use it to analyze information, to pull data. You can even use it to create websites. So there's multiple Python libraries. One of my favorite is Pandas. Okay, and I'm not talking about the designer. There's a NumPy, there's a matplotlib. So matplotlib, you can create a chart that plots certain points of your data. You'll create an actual chart graph with matplotlib. NumPy, you're doing numerical analysis with statistics. And Pandas, you're also doing that. So with Pandas, you're also analyzing statistical information. Okay. There's PyTorch, there's TensorFlow, SQL Alchemy. So Python, you can do so many things with Python, and it's really useful for analyzing data. Yes?
So what's a Python library?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. A library is a set of tools and functionalities of a programming language.
Okay.
So yes. So, Python is the programming language. Okay. These are the many functionalities of Python. Yeah, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. That's known as a library. It's just a set of functions.
Okay, I got you. So listen, if somebody was starting out, do they have resources like maybe like a skeleton of something, and then you like kind of fill it in to start learning? Is there something like that?
Yes. So there's multiple resources for that. YouTube, Codecademy.com.
Oh, yeah.
So Codecademy, I don't know if you all heard of it, but Codecademy is a website where you learn how to code, and it's very interactive. The graphical user interface, how you interact with the computer or the website, it'll tell you how far you have made it when you're coding, and it will tell you if your coding is wrong or not. But at the same time, it will correct you. It's a very useful graphical user interface, a very useful website. Okay, so yes. And also, there are multiple websites out there. W3 Schools, that's a good website to use. W3 Schools, okay. That's a good website to use in order to learn how to code. You can also learn SQL from their website. It's very simple, easy to learn, and the website is very easy to navigate. Yes?
Yes, what would be the best one to start with children?
Oh, children, okay. So I would say programming language?
Yes.
Okay, I would say HTML and CSS, okay. Yes. Yes. And Python and JavaScript. So yes.
Thank you.
So I do have experience in teaching children and teenagers a variety of computer science techniques, such as data science, web development, video game development, things like that. So yes. So you can have children start off by creating websites, and you can expand upon that. You can make the website interactive, fill it with awesome animations with JavaScript. And if you want, they can use a data scraper technique, a data scraper library, or a statistical analysis library within the website, so they can gather information on the traffic that's going to their website. And they can do that with Python. This is R. So it is a programming language dedicated to statistical data. And you can produce statistical data with R. You can create charts, plot points, and that's the GUI, the graphical user interface. So if you launch R, that's what you will see: the script, the console, the environment, and the graphical output. With R, you can create a bunch of data representation: charts, bars, graphs, pie circles, whatever, you name it. Yes?
Just have a quick question. What is the usefulness of using a scatter plot, the way that you used it there? How is that information useful?
So you can use this scatter plot.
No, this one in particular.
Okay.
Because usually there's some type of correlation that you can see,
Mhm.
and I don't really see that, so I'm just curious as to.
Okay, so It's the item visibility versus the item outlet sales. Okay. So in other words, based on the availability of the items that are in the store, how well does it match up to the sales of the item? Okay. So as you can see, as it goes further down to the right, the items decrease because it's very popular. But in the beginning, there was a lot of sales because it was visible. So this can be any item. I just said item. But I guess in this case, let's say a popular video game. So everybody loves a video game. PS5s. Everybody loves the PS5. It's true. Oh Lord, those PS5s are out of stock.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So and this is very true. The PS5s were very popular and everybody wanted it. But as time goes on, the items were decreasing, and there was low visibility, and that means low sales. So back in the day, it was thriving. Now, not so much. So that's the purpose of the scatter plot. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes. Okay. And the outlets versus total sales, item type versus sales. So with R, and R is very easy to learn. You do not need experience in programming or a lot of technical knowledge to use it. It's very simple. And yes, it's just called R. Yes. And that's SQL. So SQL stands for structural query language. And SQL is very easy to learn. It's very easy to understand. It's very simple. All you're doing with SQL is that you're finding information within a database and you're pulling it out and you're showing it to yourself or whoever. Also, you can remove information, you can add information to the database, and you can even create databases with it. So for some of my associates and some people that I know personally, that's how they got into technology. That's how they got into business intelligence. That's how they got into business analysis and business analytics through SQL. Because all you're doing is just creating data and manipulating it. So there are multiple methodologies in business analysis. So this is different than the techniques that I mentioned earlier. Methodologies are the agile methodology and the waterfall model. So with waterfall, I have experience in both. Waterfall is very linear, but at the same time, it's not always effective. There's project planning. You have to get the requirements from other individuals, for your product. And you have to do the analysis, think about the SWOTs, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you have to design it. Then you have to code it, then you have to test it, then you have to deploy it. Deploy it as in you have to release it. So it's very linear. I prefer Agile. With Agile, it's very iterative. It's like you're going around and around until it's time for the software that you're creating to stop. You're not going to stop until the software is perfect or close to perfect. Well, I wouldn't say that not all softwares are perfect. I mean, there's always work to be done, but until it satisfies the needs of the customers. So you meet a plan with the customer, you design the app, you code it, you test it, and then you release it, and then you get feedback on how you can make it better. So it's very iterative. You can go around and around in circles until you get it right. It's very agile because it's very flexible. There's a Scrum and Kanban. So Kanban is similar to Trello. It's a way of thinking where you have a to-do list, you're in progress, and if you have anything done, you can express it. So, for example, at my job, we use Kanban. We put things on a sticky note, and we tell the Scrum Master what we did yesterday, or this week, or the day, or 2 days before. And then we talk about what we're going to do in progress, what is in progress, what we plan on doing for the rest of the day. And after that, if we are done, we just say it's done. So Kanban is very useful. It can help you manage your projects really easily, especially software development projects. Within software development, there's a lot of things to do. Like, with games, technology, TV shows, cartoons, anything, there's a lot to be done. there's lots of stakeholders and there's lots of people having an influence on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. So seeing things in a linear way and having a board to track everything, that's very useful. Okay, and sometimes the boards can get messy. It can cause arguments. Yes. I do not recommend those arguments. Okay, now Scrum. Does anybody here play rugby? Okay, so in rugby, Scrum is just another way of expressing teamwork. Scrum is used in Agile, and it's also used in IT, and it's also used in engineering. It can also be used in healthcare. It can also be used in finance. It can also be used, in the financial world. It's just showing teamwork because any sports, not just rugby, you have to utilize teamwork in order to get the goal or win the game, right? So you can use the same mindset within IT. You have to work together, resolve your problems, and make sure that your software product that you're creating is very usable. It satisfies the needs and desires of the client, and make sure that it satisfies the needs of the business. Okay. So there are multiple certifications that you can get in order to help you become a business analyst. I have a professional Scrum Master 1 certification. So during the pandemic in 2020, when we were on lockdown, Microsoft and so many other companies out there, they were giving away free vouchers to get certifications. So yes, with these vouchers, you can take the test for free and get a certification. Most of these certifications are very expensive. Like they can cost up to $1,000 or $2,000. Yeah. Okay. So yes. So I'm SAFe certified in Agile. SAFe stands for Scaled Agile Framework, and it just helps you understand Agile, the Agile methodology more. It just helps you understand it more and how it can be useful in certain challenges of your work, especially if you're working with software development. And it just helps you, change your way of thinking on how to approach certain problems. Okay. There are numerous Microsoft certifications: Azure Data Fundamentals, Azure Fundamentals, Power Platform, Power BI, Microsoft 365. There's many, and you're just going up the list. From 1 star is Fundamentals, 2 stars is Associate, and the 3 stars is Expert. And you can also get a specialty certification. Yes. So yes. So I was able to sit through some of the certification courses and learn more about Microsoft, learn more about Amazon, learn more about Scrum, and learn more about the Six Sigma certification. And I was able to sit through, take notes, take the test, and pass. And all that really helped me become a better business analyst. And it also helped me understand data in a more linear, in a more unique way. And it has really helped me become a better technologist. So for those of you who are in engineering, technology, IT, or just in life, get a certification. It will really help you be more marketable. Yes. Yes. And to answer your question, I got my Six Sigma Green Belt certification from the Lab 4 Test Training Center. Yes. Oh, and also Six Sigma is used for process improvement. Now, that's very useful in engineering. Yes. So, from the bottom to the top is the yellow belt, green belt, which is what I have, black belt, and the master black belt. So once you're the master black belt, you teach other black belts and anybody below you. Yes. And all that is used for process improvement. Everything in life can always be improved. Business analysis, data science, data analytics, engineering. Cars can be improved, TVs can be improved, this computer can be improved, this whole room can be improved, PDC can always be improved. You can use it for anything.
And NSBE actually has a process improvement SIG.
That's right.
Teaches it.
Yep. Yes. So these are the multiple job roles that you can be part of, that you can apply to, and that you can utilize for your data analytics skills. Business analysts, release trained engineers. Some of them have very fancy names. So in the agile world, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, what is the release train engineer?
Okay, so in the agile world, when you're working on a project or if you're on a team, that whole thing is known as a train. And the main leader of that project or team is the release train engineer. They are the head engineer that oversees everything that's happening in their project. Okay. I know it sounds really different and I know it sounds unique, but that's the agile world. It's like they're the conductor of a choo-choo train. Everybody's on their train and they're leading everybody towards the next destination or towards their end goal. Okay. So yes, there's BI developers, program manager, portfolio manager. So project managers, they manage a project. Program managers, they manage one or more projects within a department or team. Portfolio managers, they manage different projects across different programs within their entire department. So it's project manager to program manager to portfolio manager. Portfolio managers manages everything. So yeah, you can use data science or data analytics or business analytics in HR, in marketing. Yeah, because when you think about it, if you're going to release a product within IT or software development, somebody needs to market it. And if you know how to market certain things and convert that to data or analyze the trends, that can help you more successful in releasing your product.
I have a question.
Yes.
The role of a data scientist and business analyst, is it different?
Is it different?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So the role of a business analyst, okay. So it depends on the job, and it depends on the company, and it depends on the role. But you can wear a variety of hats. You can do a lot, or you may be doing just one thing. So you can either work with business analytics or do business analysis. So you can either you can either be a project manager where you set up meetings with clients and customers, take notes, and be a liaison between two or more parties, and just call it a day. While in business analytics, also known as data analytics, you can also analyze data. That's when you become very technically oriented. So yes.
So you'd be called a data scientist?
You can what?
You'd be called a data scientist?
Yes, if you're, so data science and data analytics are, so I told you about business analysis, business analytics, data analysis, and data science, that's very heavy programming. So data analysis and business analysis, you already have the data, but you're utilizing that data to forecast a dashboard to show what you find. Data science, you're providing the data, you're creating the data. So again, the difference is data scientists, they're creating the data, okay, from whatever resources. Business analysis, a business analyst and a data analyst, they have the data that's given to them, and they have to show what they have find from the data. Does that make sense? Yeah. So data scientists, they're the ones who use R, Python, SQL, but then again, so can business analysts and data analysts. Yes. Okay. So let me do a quick demonstration. So it's demo time, y'all.
Hey.